Hi everyone, Dave Bradshaw here alongside RevPro owner and booker Andy Quildan. We've just come off air live in Sheffield. We are 1 week away, of course, from the Revolution Rumble in Doncaster. A night where, as well as the Revolution Rumble match itself, all 4 championships in RevPro are going to be on the line, and plenty of developments with regards to all of those contests. Where to start? Well, the only place to start, I think, is the pure pandemonium in the closing moments here at Network tonight, where felt like half the roster were involved in what was basically a mass brawl at the end.
Yeah, it was a sign of things to come for next week at the Doncaster Dome, wasn't it? Just absolute chaos. You can tell it's Rumble season when you've got bodies flying left, right, and centre. We always say when we're kind of days away from these shows which have got signposts to them, you feel the tension rising, don't you? And any night when every single championship in Revolution Pro Wrestling is on the line is a special night. It's going to be a special night in Doncaster this coming Sunday. And yeah, like, again, so much to call. And we saw, look, throughout the card up and down today, we saw a lot of tasters, a lot of teasers of what we can expect at the Revolution Rumble. And I think I come away from today, I thought we were going to perhaps leave tonight having a few more answers than we did have. But I think we walk away with just as many questions, if not more. And I think there's a number of people you could look at and consider favourites for that Revolution Rumble. Like, anyone could win it. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it is. And I think we should probably go through a couple of those because some of them were in action tonight. And again, as I said, quite kind of consequential in what we saw from them. The only place to start really is Michael Oku. Oku was in our main event tonight against Leon Cage. Of course, just 1 week after that unsanctioned match against Connor Mills, Oku got the win over Cage. To my mind, and I think to yours, he still didn't really seem himself, although he did offer his hand to Leon Cage at the end of the match. Before we could see if Cage was going to accept that handshake, though, a hooded figure attacked Oku. Who else but Connor Mills?
Absolutely, the ghost of Michael Oku's past, which just keeps haunting him. And yeah, look, the Michael Oku match with Leon Cage, we didn't really get many answers in regards to where Michael Oku's head's at. Apart from it's not in a good place right now, did we? But yeah, that was a catalyst. That Michael Oku Leon Cage match, the interjection of Connor Mills, that was a catalyst for everything that followed. And I think you look at Oku, you look at Mills, and look again. You saw Jay Joshua coming out for the aid of his tag team partner Connor Mills, and that triggered JJ Gale coming to the ring, and then David Francisco had some grudges to settle. So, you know, like people don't forget here, do they? You know, it's not a case of, and maybe it'd be better if people did just accept it and move on, but like people can't, because that's not life, is it? You know, and I think that everyone's got so much history with one another, and even you saw Kuro hitting Trent Seven with the variation of Trent Seven's 7-star lariat. You know, we know Kuro uses that same move. We know Trent Seven uses that move, and we know that backstage there's a lot of talk about that between the guys, right? And you saw that come to light before our very eyes. And I think the beauty of the Revolution Rumble is that, so whilst we saw all these possible matches, you know, come before our very eyes in that thing at the end and everything, the beauty of it is it's an entirely random draw. We don't even know their paths are going to cross with one another. You have to be ready for anyone at any time, and you have to have eyes in the back of your head as well, and you got to hope that you've got more friends than enemies.
Look, 2 of the others who were announced for the Revolution Rumble, Driller Maloney and Trent Seven, they went one-on-one. Maloney's first match in RevPro for almost 3 years. Win for Maloney over Seven, although I think Seven looked as good as ever, even in defeat. Those 2 are certainly among the favourites. RKJ also in action tonight. He got a victory over Tom Felwell. In that chaos at the end of the show, we then saw RKJ brawling with Maloney. So on those 3, RKJ, Trent Seven, Driller Maloney, what are your thoughts on all of them going into the Rumble?
Look, I think the answer is going to be the same for everyone. Anyone can win. And I think that when you look at the Revolution Rumble, you look at the winners the past 3 years, you've got Michael Oku, you look at Luke Jacobs, and you look at Shaw Samuels. And you think about each of those men have had a shot at the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship as a result of winning that Rumble. And each of those men have been successful as a result of winning that Rumble. So you can see how high the stakes are. But when you look at, for example, last year, how many people picked Shaw Samuels as being the man who would win that Revolution Rumble? So I feel like it's almost a pointless task being sat here and saying to you, Look, I think that Driller Maloney's a favourite. I think RKJ's a favourite. Look, you said it yourself, Dave. Like a lot of who's a favourite will depend on the number they draw. You know, you like we sit here. Look, we've not even mentioned people like a TK Cooper. You know, who's at home right now, probably stewing over results of last week still. You know, we've not mentioned him. You know, there's many other guys. You know, and with these Revolution Rumbles, it's always surprises as well. Anyone is viable because the level is that high. And I think you saw tonight, Chicago Desai shock Shah Samuels, Kuro, and Danny Black, 3 tenured wrestlers here in Revolution Pro Wrestling. One a former 2-time undisputed British heavyweight champion, a former undisputed British tag team champion, a man who's won the Revolution Rumble himself, seen it all, done it all. You look at Danny Black, former Trios Grand Prix winner. You look at Kuro, the guy that is dubbed and seen as the shining light in French professional wrestling, and the industry, a scene which is on fire right now. And Chicago Desai was victorious, you know, and he showed just how easy it could be. He showed just how quickly things can change if you don't keep your eyes on the prize. So this is why this Rumble's so intriguing. This is why this is probably the most intriguing Rumble that we've had, because there's so many potential winners. And I think on top of that, we know the prize. It's not just a shot at the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship. The prize is a shot at the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship at the OVO Arena, Wembley. And that's a show which is tracking to be the biggest show in Revolution Pro Wrestling history. We want to make it the biggest show in British wrestling history. How big can that show get? How big's your imagination? You know, we've dared to dream, and we're going to do everything we can to make this show as big as possible. And the next step on that road, the next step on that journey is 7 days' time live from the Doncaster Dome. And make no mistake, we've not taken our eye off the prize. You know, just because, you know, Wembley looms in the distance, we're making sure that every show coming up is must see, can't miss. Tonight was must see, can't miss. There were surprises. Leon Slater was here, you know. There was emotion. Sky Smithson and Amira, an emotionally driven fight after the contest, a war of words followed by the fight. You know, tensions. You know, we saw that between Driller Maloney and RKJ. You know, surprises, Chicago Desai winning that contest out of nowhere, right? And just so many stakes. And it was an exciting and thrilling show, and we plan to do that each and every step along the way as Wembley gets closer and closer. But I would suggest that as Wembley gets closer and closer, the intensity is going to get higher and higher and higher. So, you know, it all come into a head next week. And look, how good did Leon Cage do? And I said it. You know, when Leon Cage was on his way to the ring, it's time that we you know, Leon Cage has his challenges. It's time that Leon Cage, we test him against the best in the world. So we're gonna do it again. We're gonna have another special challenge match next week for Leon Cage, and he's gonna go 1-on-1 with the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, the Prince of Pace, Callum Newman. So he's making a return to the UK. He's making a return to Revolution Pro Wrestling, a place he used to call home. And he's going 1-on-1 with Leon Cage. And Callum knows exactly the position Leon Cage is in right now, because he's been in that position that Leon Cage is in, touted as the future of the business. But Callum is now the youngest IWGP heavyweight champion of all time. And he's now the present of this business. And he's not going to want a young pretender coming to try and take his throne. And that's going to be another exceptional opportunity for Leon Cage, another exceptional learning moment for Leon Cage in this ever-evolving journey of professional wrestling.
That's blowing my mind, because I was already about to say that quite aside from the Revolution Rumble match, it is a stacked card this coming Sunday in Doncaster. That is huge breaking news. Another match, therefore, added to the Revolution Rumble show, where there's already going to be all 4 RevPro championships on the line. You mentioned Leon Slater being a surprise that he was here tonight. It certainly was a surprise, and his actions, I think, maybe took Liam Slater by surprise when he recruited Liam to help him answer the open challenge, an impromptu open challenge for the New Sons of Southampton tonight. Ultimately, Slater Dojo victorious in that one. Earlier in the night, the Young Guns victorious against HMD and George Hunter, 2 of the younger members of the Slater Dojo. So both the Guns and Leon Slater looking to be in scintillating form, headed into that undisputed British tag team title match at the Rumble this Sunday.
Yeah, it's a case of the irresistible force meets the immovable object, isn't it? And we saw when the Slater Dojo can be on the same page, they can be excellent. And that's what they were tonight in that trios contest against the New Sons of Southampton, whether or not Liam Slater wanted to be there or not. And again, that's something, it's always that underlying tension between Liam and Leon, almost like a power struggle, it seems, at times. But the question remains, Liam manages to keep a cool head at the end, and your question remains, is this just all a part of the plan? Is this all a part of the bigger plan? Because it's not the first time we've seen Liam Slater be one step ahead, and think about last year in the Revolution Rumble where Liam Slater got injured against Cameron Kai, and Cameron Kai went off with him, and you look back now and it's like Cameron Kai was in on this all along.
He plays the long game.
And Liam Slater absolutely plays the long game. So I'm very interested to see how well they combine. And again, the advantage that the Slater Dojo have over the Young Guns is there's a lot of videotape of the Young Guns. Leon Slater's best friends with them. He knows their game inside out. And as a tag team proposition, Liam and Leon Slater, there's a lot less to study, but we know that Liam and Leon, you couldn't get closer as professional wrestlers, as colleagues, as Liam and Leon. And the learning that Leon's done under Liam and the lessons they've shared together, the experiences they've shared together as well. So that's what makes that contest between the Young Guns and Slater Dojo so intriguing, added to the fact that you've got 4 world-class professional wrestlers and you've got the Young Guns looking to prove a point. The Young Guns want to go in to Wembley Arena as the undisputed British Tag Team Championships. They want to validate the claim that their match with FTR will be the biggest tag team match in independent wrestling history. They feel to do that, they need to enter with that Tag Team Championship gold. So there's that extra sense of tension every single time the Young Guns put those undisputed British Tag Team Championships on the line, and they don't want to sit out and wait. They want to be competitive. They don't want there to be any question marks, and I think that is what makes that match between Slater Dojo and Young Guns so intriguing. It adds layers to a contest. If you just look at them as 2 separate teams, we want to see them fight. We want to see what happens when they go up against it. We saw what happened when Leon Slater and Luke Jacobs went up against each other last week at the Portchester Hall. Fantastic match. And if you haven't seen it, go out your way to check it out on RevProOnDemand.com. So we've seen what happens in that singles environment. Now what's going to happen in a tag team environment. So I'm very, very interested, very, very excited, and just another one of those mouth-watering contests.
Now, meanwhile, as we said, all 3 singles championships will be on the line in Doncaster. A very interesting 6-person tag team situation tonight in Sheffield, where the 3 challengers, the 3 number 1 contenders for those titles, those being JJ Gale, Danny Luna and Leighton Buzzard, face the 3 champions, the undisputed British heavyweight champion, Jay Joshua, women's champion, Alexis Falcon, and cruiserweight champion, Joe Lando. And we were saying it was kind of an opportunity for either a champion or a challenger to gain an advantage over their respective opponents if they could secure the victory and give themselves that edge headed into Doncaster. And in the end, it was a night for the challengers.
Absolutely, it was. Again, that was another match. It wasn't really... Look, when you look at it, you feel definitively that Danny Luna has this edge over Alexis Falcon. Alexis Falcon has been unable to get in Danny Luna's head like she was able to get into other opponents' heads. Kanji's head, Alex Windsor's heads. Alexis Falcon has not been able to do that with Danny Luna. Because Danny Luna, and I guess Danny Luna's the difference between Danny Luna and people Alexis Falcon has faced before is that Danny Luna knows what it's like to be at the top of the mountain. She knows what it's like to be there for an extended period of time, to essentially be the mother figure of the women's division, to be the person that everyone looks up to. She knows that weight of pressure, and she is not going to fall for the games that Alexis Falcon is trying to play. And I think that bothers Alexis Falcon. I think that rattles Alexis Falcon. And I think that deep down, look, Alexis Falcon talks a great talk. Don't get me wrong. She's a compelling professional wrestler. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff she does, but she certainly gets results. But I think that Alexis Falcon, deep down, she does want to be known as a type of champion that Danny Luna was, or the type of champion that Alex Windsor was, or the type of wrestler that people perceive Kanji to be, that people can perceive Rio to be. Alexis Falcon wants those plaudits. But she feels, I'm putting words into her mouth, into her mind. I don't know exactly what her psyche is, but I know you do not reach the level that Alexis Falcon has been able to reach without caring what other people think, without wanting to make sacrifices and try and do everything you can to reach to the top of your craft. And that's why I feel Alexis Falcon, she doesn't just want to beat Danny Luna next Sunday. She needs to beat Danny Luna next Sunday. But that is where it becomes very, very interesting, because there's a whole new pressure on Alexis Falcon's shoulders that she hasn't felt before.
I think there's, as odd of a trio as those three champions were, in some way, I said on commentary tonight, I don't mean Joe Lando, for example, would normally choose to team with
or associate with
Alexis Falcon, right? But one thing I think they have in common maybe is that for all of the doubt that there is about their ability to hold on to championships, when the chips are down and when the title is on the line, all three of them in their own way find ways to get it done. I'm talking about, obviously you just mentioned Alexis Falcon, but Joe Lando, a lot of people thought Cameron Kai had his number because he pinned him multiple times, but then when the title was on the line, Lando won. Jay Joshua, now approaching half a year as heavyweight champion, and many, many times people have written him off and said he was going to lose the title. It hasn't happened. So just because it was a big win for the challengers tonight doesn't necessarily mean that the champions are on the ropes.
As has been proven time and time again, what matters is when the championship's on the line. Look, wins and losses matter. Let's make no mistake about it. But wins and losses are an aid to get towards the end. And the end goal is to become the champion of your specific division that you play or trade in. And it's a whole different ball game when the championship's on the line. So that's why I always say you shouldn't read too much into this. You should look for signs. You should look for clues. And then, then when we're watching that championship match, or as championship match is next Sunday in Doncaster, we may notice stuff that we noticed last time, and we may see weaknesses. But I think coming out, like I say, coming out of that, specifically when it comes to the Cruiserweight Championship picture, specifically, apart from we know now that Joe Lando and Leighton Buzzard will put it on the line against each other. We know that they will lay it in to one another. Friendship is out the window when it comes to the spirit of competition. They may shake hands afterwards, but we know that with that Cruiserweight Championship on the line, look, we saw them laying into each other tonight, right? Mm-hmm. And despite a nice, friendly start between the pair, and we know that when that championship's on the line, the stakes are raised, and there's going to be no holding back for Joe Lando and Leighton Buzzard. I think when it comes to Jay Joshua and JJ Gale, to me, more questions. Lots more questions.
No friendliness there, clearly.
No friend. We know, we know it's going to be heated. We know it's going to be hearty, and we know what to expect between these two, right? But no answers in terms of who's got the advantage, I believe, anyway, and both men will have come out of the contest tonight, I guess the actions after the show, both men will have come out of tonight with positives. They would have come out of tonight with some renewed confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's both men.
Yeah.
So they're both stubborn guys, and
both those camps,
ahead.
I agree. I think both of those camps are going to be thinking,
yeah, we've got this.
We got this.
Yeah.
And they can't both be right.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
We'll find out this Sunday. Now, obviously, the Revolution Rumble coming up. Just briefly want to give a shout out to what is, we've been talking about it all the time, but it is a busy late spring, early summer schedule, because if you look beyond Doncaster, I know it's kind of hard to look beyond that with everything we've got coming up next week, but Bash at the Bay in Morecambe the following week, May 24th. Then we're live in Coventry, May 31st. Then back live in London with Eddie Kingston joining us in Porchester Hall June the 7th, and we know the British J Cup's coming up.
Have you missed out Coventry? Did you say
I said Coventry? No, I said Coventry.
I'm clearly not listening to you.
Well, no change there. British J Cup coming up, Summer Sizzler, all sorts coming up.
Yeah, so look, this is big, isn't it? It's a big summer coming up to Wembley, and I'm excited. We are going to have a lot of new experiences. So I think Bash of the Bay is going to be a great experience for everyone involved. It's going to be a real community event. It's going to be a real fun event. It's going to be the day that Arsenal lift the Premier League trophy, and also it's a football themed show, so I can get it in.
Oh, okay. That makes it legitimate.
So, well, it's on a football pitch, but it's going to be but like I say, it's going to be a real fun community event. And what we really want to do is be able to bring the people of Morecambe together who may not have seen Revolution Pro Wrestling before, and to deliver them a very interesting slice of pro wrestling at its best. Of course, we know Fuego from CMLL is going to be in town, where he's going to go one-on-one with former Cruiserweight champion Rufus Will Caven, and that's going to be a bit of a taster for what's coming up this October with Fantastica Mania UK. Of course, we've got Homecoming, You'll Call Bethnal Green this coming November. Our debut in Bradford for Summer Sizzler, July 18th. Look, we're just going to get busier and busier and busier. We're going to keep going and going and going. We're going to keep pushing the boundaries of what people believe to be possible with British wrestling. I think we already, just in my humble opinion, I feel like we already pushed the boundaries of what is possible to achieve in terms of the consistency, the week in, week out consistency of what we do. I think we're already pushing those boundaries, and I feel like we're going to continue to push the boundaries of kind of what people think we can achieve in terms of volume of shows, quality of shows, just improving everything up and down, but look, small adjustments, bit by bit by bit by bit. And I feel like our big thing is we can only judge ourselves on ourselves yesterday. Are we in a better place today than we were yesterday? And the answer is absolutely. And you know, all you got to do is take a look at the on-demand service to see, how far we've come in such a short space of time, relatively short space of time, with a DIY attitude. And, we don't make excuses, we find solutions. And that's what it's all about.
Who's going to win the Revolution Rumble?
Arsenal. Sorry, I thought you were talking about.
I'm just trying to get you on the spot.
Look,
who's your pick? Come on, give me a pick.
I can't because there's 30 people who could win that Rumble. I feel like a politician now, in a weekend of politics here in the UK. I feel like a politician by giving you a non-answer. But look, it legitimately could be anyone. I flip it on its head. Who do you think? Who's your favourite?
I'm asking the questions.
Oh, wow.
Not giving the answers.
You are something else.
We will get the answers. We will get them this coming Sunday, the Doncaster Dome, the Revolution Rumble. We will see you there, Andy. Thank you, as ever, for joining us. I'm excited. I'm sure everyone's excited. Big breaking news there regarding Callum Newman and Leon Cage as well, as we head into the Revolution Rumble this Sunday at the Doncaster Dome.